Happy Wednesday! It is Cassie Bollinger. If you're watching this, then you might need a little bit of training. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what I did today. And I've talked to a couple of my teamies, and I noticed that sometimes I don't always explain everything I do on a day-to-day basis. And so some people assume that I sit on Facebook or I sit waiting or learning all day long on how to run my business. So I did a live in my VIP to explain to customers, because they also think that I work 24/7 at Scentsy, that there's a lot of things that I have learned over the years to make my business run more efficient and for me to take less time. The analogy I use for them is just like when someone is learning how to cook for the first time. They may not have the nicest pans or the nicest knives or the best cutting boards because they're learning. They're using what they have. And it may be hand-me-down pans. It may be the knives that your grandmother had and that she had extras of that she handed to you when you moved out. In our business, it's very much like learning any kind of skill. In the beginning, it takes a little bit longer to get things going and to find the understanding. It's going to take you time to absorb the information, to put it into practice, to find what works best for you. So when you're watching any kind of training, or you're looking at how to build your business, or how to run a VIP group, or even how to make posts on any kind of social media platform, you need to understand that it's a learning process and there's building blocks. The first thing that you always need to understand is how our workstation works. If you don't have a website and you don't use your workstation, there's not a lot that you can do to process orders because you don't know how to process an order. When you first start with Scentsy, you get the first things first. It is a list of 5 different major things that you need to look through and understand about our workstation. If it's been a while since you've looked through that or seen that, you can actually find that in our workstation under training and under new consultants. It's a step-by-step on how to start your business. So if it's been a while, or maybe you don't have a website anymore, or maybe you don't even have the workstation, maybe you're not even a current consultant, there's a way for you to build up your business by learning your basics of your steps. So I use the analogy of cooking, and this is how it kind of relates to Scentsy. When I first started with Scentsy, I was reading all the books. It's like reading all the cookbooks of all the things that you can make, all the things you can do. But then you also have to learn those smaller steps of how do you dice and slice, and what's a simmer? You know, when it says medium heat, is that just the middle of the dial? When you're cooking in an oven, what's broil? What's the difference between a broil low, a broil high, and why can't I just cook food really, really fast in the oven? So as you learn smaller techniques, or as you learn how to use the tools that are provided, like you may have had a knife, but it wasn't very sharp, and it probably took you 10 minutes to cut that first carrot. But as you learn the different techniques of how to cut, how to hold your hands, how to put the knife on a cutting board, and every cutting board is different. Did you know there's different cutting boards for different items of food that you're cutting? Some are easier, some are built for meats, and then some are built for vegetables, especially vegetables that are juicy like tomatoes. So there's so many different ones. As we grow through Scentsy, and as you learn your business, you will realize that there's different tools that you can use to make things work better. Like maybe you didn't know you could schedule posts into your VIP group. Maybe you didn't understand that you don't have to sit on Facebook or on Instagram all day long and just schedule a post or setting a timer. When I first started, I used my posts every hour on the hour, and some people really thought that I sat around every hour on the hour and posting those. Now I only schedule about 2 to 3 posts a day. I have one early morning. I have one about 9 o'clock. Early morning, I mean 8, 9 o'clock, and 7 p.m. And occasionally when we have a new item that's releasing or something, a new update from the news tab, I will throw that in the middle. Or if I find an amazing picture, or if I decide to do a live, or if I get something in the mail, or it's something that's delivered to me that I want to show, then I'll highlight those. But in the beginning, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And that's why there's trainings. There's amazing trainings in our workstation. There's amazing trainings on YouTube. So you can find different ways to learn different aspects of our business. But again, if you relate it to something that maybe you know well, cooking. When you first start, you're not doing a souffle. You're not going to be cooking a quiche or something that is a 5-layered cake. You kind of need to start with the basics of, like, let's melt some butter. Let's cut an onion. Like, do you know how to cut an onion the correct way? Because I just know that I just chop it in slices and then chop it all up unless it's going to go on a hamburger. But there's things I've learned, like in the beginning, I didn't know you're supposed to peel off the outside skin. But you know that after you start to try to eat it and it has that skin or it doesn't quite cook right whenever you put it into the skillet. I don't know all the technical terms for cooking because I'm still learning every single day, but I'm also learning every single day in my Scentsy business when I have time. I take the time to try to check out trainings. I take the time to join different Scentsy groups just to be able to learn some more information. So when you're trying to build up your business, it's not always going to be all there at the beginning, all perfect, and everything just runs smoothly. You have to learn what works for you. What I do in my business is not going to be what you do in yours because you can't be me. And I can't be you. I love sharing. I love helping. I love training because it makes me feel complete. So think about that the next time that you are thinking that Cassie's doing some crazy things. There's so much stuff. How does she have time for it? I take time to do small steps, and I don't do them all at once. Happy Mail is one thing that I spread out. I know that I need to have thank you postcards, so I can print those at any time. I do them in bulk. I will sit there and start the printer and walk out of the room. And then I come back later on, maybe a couple days, maybe even a couple of weeks, and then I'll cut them. Then I add my rub and sniff stickers to them. It doesn't all happen at one time. I don't sit here and be like, I have to complete this amount of jobs today. I just know there's things I want to get done. I try to do them as soon as I can or when I can, but there is no expectations to do everything. So take the time for your business. Take the time out of your schedule, 10 minutes a day. I honestly do every single thing, and that is including running this team, running my shout outs for teamies of everything that they do. I do all that within about 3 hours a week. It's different. Sometimes there's constantly, there's shout outs that I can give because there's so many amazing things that my team is doing. Sometimes it's slower, so I don't have to spend as much time on my team, but I do check numbers every day. I do check to see how everybody's doing through the numbers on the system because I can kind of tell. Do they have a website? Do they not have a website? Are they active? Do I see anything on their Facebook page? Do I see anything in their VIP group? So I know what you guys are doing, and I can see what you guys are doing. And I'm here to encourage you. So if you have any questions about how to run a business more efficiently, you can always check the workstation underneath the training and get a lot of step-by-step where you can read through and you can practice that way. If you need any more help or if you have any questions about how to simplify a task that you feel like you've taken on, let me know. I'd be more than happy to break it down for you and find an easy way for you to be able to process that information or to be able to accumulate the data that you need and how to process it to get it into a task that you can get it done. That's what I got for you guys today. I love you all. If you guys need to see any of my trainings, please check out the YouTube channel. It'll be uploaded there once a week of some kind of training. I hope you guys enjoyed us today. I love you all. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.